Bitcoin giving a bullish retest on the daily chart. Does this mean that we continue to move up? We'll talk about that. Keep watching. Hey everybody, welcome to Block Roots. As always, I am Josh on behalf of my co-founder Karen Clark, who also makes videos. He plans to do a live stream as well this week. I think even maybe tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. But on behalf of him, we just want to say thank you. Nothing is financial advice, and if you've not yet subscribed to the channel, please do so below. It's really easy. You just click the red button, you click subscribe. It makes us feel good, and then you get notifications. You get notifications when we put out a new video. We've been doing that a little bit more consistently lately. And also too, when you comment or leave, when you comment or engage on the video, you get it to be put in a drawing for $100 of Bitcoin, a giveaway. So just know that we do that each and every week. We love to give out Bitcoin because we believe that it's a long-term store of value, right? So we think that it will definitely help people in the end, and we want to do that as much as we can. So again, let's go ahead and get started. It's not going to be a really long video. It's later in the day. I have to eat some dinner, and Karen Clark's going to give a great live stream as well. So I'm just going to quickly do an overview. We'll look at Bitcoin, what it's doing today. We'll look at Chainlink and Ethereum, and look at some tweets, and then that'll be it. So let's go ahead now. As far as before we start, know that if you're a trader and you're into trading competitions, the FIMX Traders Arena is starting soon. Okay, so there's currently over 700 participants, and there is a prize pool of over five Bitcoin, which we know that's over $55,000 at Bitcoin current price. The registration ends in 10 days. Okay, and so you don't have very long until registration ends. So make sure that you get registered if you want to do this, if you want to be a part of this. Just know too that Block Roots ourselves, we've got a team. We're actually on the front page here. And so again, if you'd like to join our team, just go ahead and sign in to FIMX. You can also use our link, fimx.trade. After you hit fimx.trade, go to the PT Arena. You can click Join Block Roots, and from there, you can trade on the Block Roots team. Again, we are partners with FIMX. Know your local laws before you do any derivatives trading, and we always just tell you guys that because we know that many of you can use FIMX, and they're a great platform overall. So just wanted to share about that. So going back to Bitcoin, overall, you know, you want to see this is a nice retest, and it's bullish, right? Because this area, the two black lines right here, right, they were actually prior support in the previous range, and this is on the daily chart. So this is a higher time frame chart. Typically, what does well on the daily, right? We want to follow the weekly for trends, the daily, and then of course on the lower time frames, the hourly, 4 hours, those tend to be you know, intraday trades or intraday trends. You know, it's better to follow what the higher time frames, because they have more weight, of course, on overall how we decide what's going to happen possibly in the market with technical analysis. So again, yesterday was kind of a crazy day, right? You had this wick up to 11,700 and a wick down below this area around 11,300. So people were freaking out, right? One of these Darth Maul candles. But today too, we went down, we retested this area, and then we've moved back up. So buyers have stepped in. Again, this has looked really good. We needed a down day anyway, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, a week of green. And so occasionally, yeah, you need a red day, a pullback day, because it's very healthy. You don't want to see Bitcoin just continuing to move on up here and going parabolic yet. So, but we are in the previous range, right? This is the range that we dip below it. And as I said in the last video, once you come up here and reclaim this range and you hold it, that's a really good sign. I really think that Bitcoin is going to continue on up in the uptrend. And even Karen Clark, I'll even pull this up. He said, and I retweeted this, it's over, bears. You sold what might have been the most important support resistance retest Bitcoin has had in over a year. Okay, we may chop a little bit, but all signs point north. A trend following market is around the corner again, and he shows the Heiken Ashi candles. As you see, again, every time this typically turns green, except for, you know, right here. This is kind of a downtrend, but you know, we've done really well the last 3 times that this is flipped green, we had multi-weeks, multi-days going up. So again, I think that this is a really good sign that we continue to trend on up here, being not only back with turning the green on the Heikin Ashi, but to being back on this trend. And you can even see Bitcoin continues to push up here around 11,400. Where we want to see Bitcoin close above, again, is the top of this range around 11,900 to 12,000. Okay, that is the key again for Bitcoin to get above. Yes, it did. This basically appears the range high, you might say, but that was kind of a, I don't want to say bull trap, but somewhat, right? Because we flipped up there and it wasn't too long. It closed and it came right back down. So I think with that said, this is the area that we want to see back above 12,000. No, I don't think that that's going to be a fake out. And a lot of people are calling a fake out here. I don't see it. We're back in the previous range, and we've had Square buy-in and a lot of other bigger players want to jump in as well. And so I think this continues to move on up. The sideways movement right here can definitely be really good with alts. Something that I want you to take a look at is, as we look at Ethereum, is watch to see if Ethereum leads Bitcoin. So if Ethereum pops, you can typically go on like the lower time frames, like the minute chart or so. And if Ethereum pops or starts to lead out in front of Bitcoin, it's typically a pretty good sign for altcoins. Now, if Bitcoin does just blast off and Ethereum is just dragged behind it, altcoins won't perform as well. They'll be up in USD overall, but certainly against Bitcoin, you'd rather be in Bitcoin, right? So compared to Bitcoin, altcoins won't do as well if Bitcoin just skyrockets by itself. But if altcoins lead, if Ethereum leads out here and you see Bitcoin follow, that's a pretty good sign that altcoins are still outperforming Bitcoin at this point in time. Now, eventually, Bitcoin is the king or queen, however you want to say it. It's going to outperform all other assets in this market, but altcoins are still going to do well, I think, in this uptrend as we continue to move up. But it's really clear here. If you can't see this support, this resistance, hopefully to turn support soon at around 389, 390, it's so obvious here that we want to see Ethereum move up, retest this, hopefully if it doesn't, but then to continue to move on up from there, right? So that's the clear sign for it to break around 389, 340. It did pop above there, right? But that wasn't it came back down after that. From there, we'll probably continue to see Ethereum move on up to around 408, and then kind of just keep moving on up here, I would say, 408, 420, and then, of course, once it gets above this area again, around 440, that's when it's probably going to continue to rip up. Because, again, this was more or less these peaks right here, somewhat of a fake out. It didn't stay up there very long, and it pulled back down really fast. So again, I think that if you go level by level, 390, and it breaks off from there, it's going to be looking good for altcoins, okay? So watch Ethereum, definitely a buyer. If you see this break above 390 and come back and test that, pretty good opportunity there, right, to want to long that if you're a trader, or jump in there for spot if you do like Ethereum. Now, if you're Bitcoin maxi, not so much, totally fine. Most of my portfolio, I know most of Cantor and Clark, is going to be Bitcoin. So that's just the key to that. Even though I do hold some other altcoins, YF Link, I still hold that, Shroom, and there's a few other ones, Zcash for sure, with the halving coming up. And now as far as Chainlink is doing great. Just kind of what I talked about with Ethereum, how I talked about Ethereum moving up above the resistance, flipping it to support and retesting it. You're seeing that right now with Chainlink. Chainlink is doing that. It's been, what is today? It's a month long, right? Close to a month long support or resistance flip to support. So this has been an important area around $10.80 up to $11. And it looks like Chainlink, it dipped below it, but it's holding that now. This is a 4-hour chart. And I just think Chainlink's going to take off from here. So if Chainlink does perform well here, the next area that you want to watch is close to around $12, around $11.94, and then from there close to $13. Really, it's about $1 level each way. So as you look at Chainlink, know that this is in a really good spot right now. And if I were to talk to people about trading this or buying into something, I certainly would mention Chainlink as an altcoin that is testing support. It's holding that, and I think that over the course of the next few days that it's going to continue to trend on up. So again, watch Chainlink, it's a good spot. Watch Ethereum, want to make sure that we flip around the 390 mark. From there, great spot buy, great long. As far as Bitcoin, again, it's holding this area. I mean, today, on the weekly chart, excuse me, this is a fantastic close overall. And let me move these lines around, right? So we're just basically right under the next probably weekly resistance, but again, we popped over it. I think the big level again is what I marked earlier. Not only the daily, but the weekly close as well is around 11,900, 11,930. If we close above that on the weekly, if I scroll back, look at this. If we close above this, this is the highest close since over in January 2018, or right after the peak high for Bitcoin, okay, on the weekly chart. This is a big deal. If Bitcoin can just close $500 more than the current price, you're looking at the highest weekly close, let me say it again, since January 2018. That's a pretty good sign for bigger players to want to step in when they see a structure break like that, when they see a higher high on the trend that hasn't been there since January 2018. So again, that is a big deal. And eventually on the lower time frames, right, we want to break above this area. But I think that these are good signs if we can break above 11,930. So with that said, that's for me. That's it for today. Quick video. I'm Josh on behalf of Cantor and Clark. Look out for that live stream. We always welcome you to comment and engage on the video so you can be put in that $100 giveaway for Bitcoin. And as always, right, you guys trade safe, trade effectively. We look forward to seeing you guys soon, and thanks again.